So today we're going to be finally finishing this course by creating the prototyping animations for the splash screens. So we have 4 splash screens already designed in the previous couple of parts of this course, and now we have to make them interactable. So how do we do that? We have discussed about this so many times, and it is quite a simple thing. So the first thing we want to do is we want to work from the top down, and I'm just going to start here. So on clicking this skip button, it's just a text, but it is a button. I want the user to be redirected to the home page, keeping every splash screen right here. So before doing that though, let's actually work on the animation for the skip button here. What I mean is on-press animations. So I believe we have this here. Okay, great. So we have 2 of them, and we're gonna get to this one, but for now, let's just finish working on this. So I'm just gonna create a new component variant here, and this is the default on-press. So the on-press state for the default navbar. So I'm just going to take this, and the only thing I'm going to be changing is the color. I'm going to change it from gray 700 to being fully white. Then I'm just going to select this and add this prototyping animation, doing the same thing we did so many times, adding an interaction while pressing change to default on-press. It should be smart animate, ease in, and 200 milliseconds. So these are the properties we have worked it with so many times, and you can feel free to just play around with these and create your own sort of values that work best for you. But this is personally what I found to work relatively better in Figma. So let's just move everything down here. Okay. And now we just have to taste it. So we have to go here. Let's select this screen and just press play here. I did it by just pressing the play icon here or the present icon. So if we go back here, it should be loading. Okay, while it is loading, okay, here it's done actually. So let's make it full screen to make it bigger to see. And now you can see when we press it, it becomes from gray, it becomes white. Great. So that's what we wanted. Next up, we want to make this redirect us to the home page. Now we can't do this from the component because in order to redirect by clicking a button, what we have to do is we have to select a page from this same layer pages here. So if we were to make it in the component, we can't redirect it to the home page because the home page doesn't exist in this Figma page, right? So instead, we have to do it directly from the design. Okay, so let's go to prototyping, and this will be the simplest part here. Just on tap or on clicks, same thing. On tab is identified to be working on mobile. That's the only difference. Navigate to and home. And the animation this time will simply be instant. Great. So at this point, we already have this animation working, but we have to do is we have to copy this. And since this doesn't automatically apply to the others here, we have to manually do this. Okay, so it should be Control-Shift-R, meaning now all of these 3 pages redirects to the home page. Great, so let's just test it out here. If we click on skip, we get redirected to the home page. Okay, great. So one thing remains, which is that we don't really have the same functionality to this final splash screen. And you might say, like, it's the final splash screen. Why wouldn't people just click the Let's Start button? And you'll be right, but I think if people get used to it, it's good to have there. It's not really taking anything away from the design. So let's just apply it, and we're going to be learning more by doing that. So again, feel free to do this on your own. So I'm not going to be doing this here. Uh, I'm just going to be leaving this here for you because this is something we literally just did right now. So I think it's good practice for you to do it uh, in your own time. So let's move on actually. So the way we move on is by working on this back button first. So this back button, we don't need it to be here. We don't need it to be here in the sense that it is not interactable. It should not be interactable because there is nowhere to go back from the first splash screen. This is the screen that the user will see when they first load the application. So there is no meaning to this button. So how do we fix that? What we have to do is we want to go back to components and create a new component variant for the button. Here is the secondary button, and let's take these two. By the way, the Figma file will be provided once the full course is released. If you're watching the full, like 5 to 6 hour course, then you could find this in the description down below. But if not, please wait to get this Figma file for free. Great. So we have this component here, and we just want to create. Okay, it seems like we have other component variants. Okay, let's try to change variants. There seems to be a couple of properties here that are not what we want. Let's return them first here. Okay. That's interesting. So, okay. Okay. So I think the best way of doing this is, since this is only a one-time use, you can actually practice making this into component. But for now, just to save time, I'm just going to manually do it. And it's just easy. It's just changing the opacity. By reducing the opacity, we are giving the feel that this button is deactivated. So let's go 75% maybe. 75 maybe a bit too bright. Let's go around 65. Great. So this 65% button here, you can see it's dulled out. And once the user clicks it, it doesn't really do anything, considering you can see even the next sort of uh, variant is also reduced in opacity, so it is obvious that this button is not working. Great, so that's the first thing we wanted to do. Next is the actual prototyping. The only thing we want to do here is we want to prototype these continue buttons here and let's go button to work properly. So let's start here. The continue button here, let's add an interaction on tap action, navigate to, and it should navigate to the second splash screen and should be instant, considering this is actually the first, so the second and the third and the fourth. We want to do the same thing here. Here, tap, navigate to. This time we're going to go to the third. Okay. Again, on tap, navigate to. This time, as you have guessed, to the fourth. Finally, this time, this will be a bit different. It's going to be on tap, navigate to, and it should go to the home page, considering this is the final one. Now you can see, if you look at it like this, it might seem a bit convoluted and difficult, maybe intimidating, but we didn't really do anything really complicated. Even if we go back to the components here, you might see something like this and get turned off here. Let's remove that. You might see something like this and assume that this is complicated, but really it's not. It's just while pressing interactions, again here, pressing hovering interactions, opening and closing interactions. It's very simple. It's a very simple concept. Even these sort of very intimidating looking are very simple. Great. So now that we have done this, we want to taste it out. So let's start from this and let's see. Continue, continue, continue. Let's start. Great. So it is working. One thing that's not working though is the actual back buttons. So this back button obviously doesn't have anything. It doesn't work. But this one should have an interaction on it. It should be on tap, navigate to, and this time from the second, it will go one back to the first. We will go to this one. Again, navigate to. This one, it is the third, I believe, so it should go back to the second. And finally, the fourth one here. This is the fourth one, so it should navigate to the third. Great. So now hopefully these interactions work. Obviously the first one doesn't work. Then we go to the first, then we can go back and cycle however we want. Perfect. Great. We are almost done, fully done with this course, almost. Only one element of this remains, and that is this indicator right here. So the way we're going to be doing this, we don't even need prototyping for this. The way we're going to be doing this is we have a couple of component variants here. So we have one for the first page, and for the second page, the central one should be at the second. And for the third page, it should be at the third. And obviously for the fourth page, we had a different variant, so it is perfect. So let's work on the variants here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take everything here below it and just give it some space to breathe. So I'm just going to create a new variant for this. This should be 1, simply 1. This should be 2. Let's create 3. So we'll have 3 variants for this. Obviously, the naming indicates that this is for the first page, second page, and third page. We're not just naming it 1, 2, 3 for no reason. Let's add some auto layouts, 32, 64 by 64. And finally, let's make this our brand color. Great, so now it's a simple matter of just switching this up to the second and third. Great, so now we can restore everything by selecting these parts and moving them up until we get 32 pixels. Great, so okay. Now let's go back to design and just apply it. So 1, let's select this one, go here 2, and let's go here now and 3, and obviously the 4th one. So now let's test it out for the final bits. Go back, continue, continue, continue. Notice how this is shifting. Go back, go back, go back, continue, continue, continue. That is all perfect. So I think that's it. We have created a full prototyped working mobile app design. So this was an entry to UI UX and mobile design. Not actually an entry, it's a bit advanced. And some concepts might be hard to understand, but I tried to cover them as best as I could, from prototyping, from Figma, from managing your Figma files in terms of branding. We looked at so many things. We had branding. You can see this is a full list of branding with colors, fonts, and everything. We had this beautiful design, starting from a simple loading status to not working or error status homepage. We created this very intricate and nicely done homepage. Even favorites, empty states, everything has been accounted for. The favorites list, which is actually working here. Yeah, the splash screens, 4 splash screens, even the navigation here, and everything works quite nicely here, as you can see. So also we had these components, right? So you can see these components, which are very much well done. So these components are what you would expect to see in a real world application, the way they are presented, the way they are carried out. Most of our elements are components, and that made it easier for us to work. And as your app grows, so will your components, but so will the use of these components. You will thank yourself that you made all these components as your app grows, because on the start it might seem overkill, but at some point everything will click and you will develop and design faster because of this. Also, we worked on this UI kits from a different Figma file, nothing really special here. Uh, and some assets, we got some, we learned how to use external assets, like icons and these flags. It's not just pasting it into your Figma design, you have to work with it to make it work for your purpose. We have learned that pretty early on. We have created these illustrations. Actually, I didn't show you the process of these creations, but feel free to play around with them. Obviously, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that uh, the full course has been released. If this is the 6 hour course, 5 to 6 hour course, then this is the full course release. If not, if it is like parts 15 or something, 14, 15, if that's the case, then you should wait a couple of days probably. It's not going to be too long before the full course releases and you can get this Figma file completely for free. Okay, thanks guys for watching. Really means a lot. The support on the channel has been incredible. Um, we will continue with a course on Darts, the programming language. So we're gonna go Dart, then Flutter, then we're gonna create this full app, mobile app. We're gonna be coding it. So stay tuned, and we're gonna be coming up with so many more designing courses. And yeah, 2025 and 2026 will be great years for this channel. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. That's all for today. Goodbye.